and wait till the power comes in so aggressively that the front wheel lifts. It's to lift it under control. From slow, throttle, clutch. Make it happen exactly when you want it to happen. In a small area like this, I choose here to lift it. Okay? Now, working clutch and throttle in harmony is important because you dictate exactly what happens when it happens. Doing a reverse bench press, bringing the bike towards you, not being on it like you're a rag doll. You maintain control. So as it lifts, you bend your arms. You bend your arms, and if you're in trouble, you just release it. Becoming a stuntman, or I don't know what I am, stunt rider, stuntman, I've done all sorts of things. But getting on the bars is something that you have to be able to do. Pretty daunting to start with, but relaxed is the things you've got to do. Relax and use the same formula. Throttle, clutch in harmony. And up we go. And it's playing around with that little balancing zone, which is the interesting part. Okay? Because there's nowhere to go. You think about it. If I go out of control, I can't jump up and say I've had enough. I'm out of control, and I go exactly where the bike falls on me. Very, very dangerous. Moving on to circle wheelies, the ability to be able to lift the bike up. Precise balance. Tiny, tiny movements on the throttle once you're up there. Not to upset the bike is important. To lift it, and then to be aggressive and too ham-fisted is impossible to do this. So lifting it up, and away we go. Okay, just very cool movements. And when I learned that, I broke it down. I lifted it up, and I understood how to drop it in. Then once I learned to drop it in, I learned to drop it in a little more. Then I learned to drop it in, lower it, catch it, lift it back up again to make a complete circle, because as I come round 180 degrees, the bike's falling. I give a little amount of throttle, it lifts it back up, I commit it once again, so I go around and around and around, and that's how it's broken down, and that's how you learn it. Well, that's how I learned it. Very important not to go over the opposite side. It's almost like it ends up like a high side. You see Chris do this on his trials bike, on his push bike. Principle's all the same, you're just dealing with a little bit more weight on this. Stop it, standing the bike on the front wheel. Bending the arm slightly, very rigid, gripping the tank with the knees. 2 fingers on the front brake, clutch comes out of the equation. So take it up to a speed, clutch in, 2 fingers squeeze. As the front end starts to dive, you further squeeze and the rear wheel lifts. Okay? Release the front brake and the rear wheel comes down. A rolling stopping is all that principle, except I'm constantly correcting the steering, left to right to get that perfect straight line. For 180 degrees is more difficult. To lift it up, very, very high. To steer opposite to the way in which I want it to come round. The bike comes round and I physically shift the rest. Anybody got a new pair of underpants for me? Could do without that. Here we go. Up. Opposite steer, all the way around. We go up. Opposite steer, all the way around. You'll see the bike is on the edge of the tyre. Donuts. Getting the rear wheel spinning and going in a complete circle. Shifting the weight forward, dabbing the front brake, and then resisting the front brake, using the clutch to get the rear wheel spinning at the moment in which the weight is lifted off the rear wheel. out, in, out, in, out. And I get the circular motion. But the weights must be over that front wheel to plant the front wheel. If it loses grip, I shoot off like a missile. The ultimate balance. Whoop. Oh, you found it funny, do you? Funny to you? What you like? Stand up. Body over. To the one side, counter.